No, tell Ron, as long as you believe it, keep coming with it. Ron, if you believe it, I want you to keep coming with it. I want you to keep coming with it until you realize how fucking ridiculous it is. I want you to keep coming with it until you realize, oh yeah, we look like absolute bitches. Absolute bitches. A woman on TikTok said something just in general, and men, grown ass motherfucking men, acted like absolute bitches. Think about any other community looking at black men right now and think about what they're saying. They're like, these dudes are weak as fuck. These dudes, because dudes are not only was so triggered by just her general critique, but now they're running around acting like they've accomplished something. Like somebody on my comment section said, yeah, well, they ain't gonna be disrespecting black men no more. I said, what? Are you for real? Jalen Walker is still dead. 60 shots. They ain't, George Zimmerman is still living his best life. What the fuck are you talking about? You're worried about this chick because she said something mean? Black men are still getting murdered in the streets with no accountability. Cops is just doing it, just walking away. But y'all think you'll accomplish something? You can't be fucking serious. And that's why I'm talking about this, because this is so much bigger than Unusually Bree. This is about the men in the community. And some of the men have demonstrated themselves to be unfit to be called men. Some of the men in our community have just demonstrated how unfit they are to be called men. They've acted like little girls. A woman on TikTok said something mean. Let's assume she was being insulting. Let's assume she was being condescending. Let's assume she was using her words pejoratively. Okay, so a woman on TikTok insulted black men and they just crumbled. And you think these men are fit to be called men? Like, you cannot be serious. I wouldn't have canceled her as she's a black woman, but at the end of the day, it was a black woman that canceled her. I am glad you brought that up. John Henry Irons, I am glad you brought that up. And I know this isn't you saying what I've seen other people say, but I saw other people saying, don't blame me, blame the black woman. So you see, because you got to see what I'm talking about with how there's a segment of these certain black men are making us look like now. So a black woman gets on TikTok, says something which is considered insulting to black men, and black men are whining and complaining about it on Twitter, and then a black woman has to step in to do something about it. Does that make it? You do get that makes it worse, right? You see how that makes it worse, right? A bunch of dudes is on Twitter, a bunch of black dudes is on Twitter complaining about this young woman who made her video on TikTok, and they run behind their skirt of their internet mama, who then completely doxes this woman and gets her fired. You get how that's worse, right? You get how that's worse. How completely and utterly powerless, ineffectual, and neutered these men look. You get how that's worse? That they felt offended and that they didn't even have the capacity to go do something about it. Oh, save us. And a black woman had to step in to save them. Now, it wasn't actually saving, but in their minds, that then the action that needed to be done wasn't even done by black men. It was done by a black woman. You get how that's worse. And so, and by the way, then they called, once she put the information out, then because there's black men on Twitter who are bragging about calling up the job. And she mentioned in the video, because even before she got fired, there were black men on Twitter saying, yeah, this is what some phone calls do. Like, you clowns are bragging about this? You look like bitches. These clowns were actually bragging about calling this woman's job because they were offended. Because their feelings were hurt. Like, yo motherfuckers, stop calling yourselves men. Just stop calling yourselves men. Because there's no fucking way that these motherfuckers can be representative of black men in the community. No fucking way. Black men, black women, and black. Yes, you're right. It was a joint effort. But the fact that a black woman was the one to dox her, I'm like, that doesn't make black men look any better. That doesn't make the black men, let's use air quotes, that were complaining about this look any better. It makes them look like they had to run to a black woman to save them from the mean TikTok woman, the mean TikTok therapist. Black men and black women got her fired and canceled. It's absolutely ridiculous. The barbershop is the only therapist black men needs. Empirical evidence would suggest otherwise. Empirical evidence would suggest otherwise. If we were completely well-adjusted and our community was on point, then what you're saying might be true. But the state of our community is the reason why, nah, bruh. That is not an accurate statement. We got our youngins out here they wildin', and you know why they wildin'? Because we're not showing them something better. I'm not blaming the youngins. If the youngins are wildin', that's on us. If the youngins are out here wilding, that's on us. They're young. This world is ridiculous. This world is crazy. This world is corrupt as hell. If they're out there wilding, it's because we're not doing our jobs. And guess where the blame falls? If the youngins are wilding, the blame falls on the adults. And specifically on the men. That's why this conversation needs to be had. Because what I'm seeing right now is nonsensical. It makes no sense. Do you know why people are criticizing? Do you know why black women have every reason to complain about black men? Because we're not getting the job done. We're not getting everything done that we need to get done. And so we have to have enough sense to say, you know what? Black women are complaining. If they're complaining about the community not being up to where it should be, okay, cool. We got to step up. We got to put in more work. Now, that's not saying that there's not outside forces trying to interfere. Of course there are. But that's our job as men to handle and counter those forces. That's the job.
Thank you for checking out this clip from Escaping the Echo Chamber. If you would like to check out the original live stream, you can click on the screen right here. Also, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.